Thank you, everybody, for coming to the Aaron Torres Podcast YouTube page. If you could do me a quick favor, see that little subscribe button at the bottom of your screen? Go ahead, click that subscribe button. Really does help our channel grow, our audience grow, and I really do appreciate it more than you know. So click that subscribe button. Appreciate your support. Now, here's the video that you came here for. Alabama traveling to Chapel Hill. We've talked about Nate Oates' crazy scheduling. They've already played at Purdue. They played Illinois and Birmingham. Then they played the Players Era Festival where they played They played Oregon, Rutgers, and Houston. So their schedules that say now they go to Carolina. Carolina, of course, is coming off a 1-2 trip to Maui. Now, what's worth noting, what did I just say? The travel to me is going to be interesting. There's always a lag and a lull for teams coming back from Maui. That's part of the reason why some teams just don't want to go there. I think that's part of the reason why Dan Hurley says he doesn't want to go there going forward. But listen, North Carolina, we'll see what they look like. But remember, Alabama played 3 games in 5 days in Vegas. They spent 5-6 days in Vegas. They probably fly out Saturday night, land Sunday morning. They got to fly out Tuesday to go to Chapel Hill. So the schedule will be interesting. What will also be interesting is what does Alabama look like? Right before we came on air here on whatever today is, Tuesday afternoon, we got news that one of Alabama's most important players, a kid by the name of Latrell Wrightsell, is out for the season with an Achilles injury. You feel terrible about that. 5th-year senior, transfer from Cal State Fullerton. But I also think it's a pretty important injury for Alabama because Alabama coming into this game, we think about Alabama, all the three-point shots, they're not shooting the ball particularly well. 32% shooting from three, closer to 33%, but it doesn't change the fact that Latrell Wrightsell was hitting 42% from behind the three-point arc, and it's not like he doesn't take a lot as well. He actually leads second on the team behind Mark Sears with 45 attempts. So he's by far their best three-point shooter. Now listen, they have a kid named Chris Youngblood coming back from injury, but this is a crushing piece of news for Alabama because they need three-point shooting. They need him. I'll also say this. Might just be time for Mark Sears to step up. Mark Sears, of course, was the preseason SEC Player of the Year. Had a couple pretty nice games in Vegas for the Players Era Championship. But it's also worth noting early on, his numbers are down from a year ago. Averaged 21 points last year, down to 16 this season. And also shot 43% from three last year, only shooting 28% this year. Again, played pretty well out in Vegas, 24 against Houston, 24 against Rutgers, 11 versus Oregon. Maybe this is the thing that gets him going. North Carolina, I think, listen, one thing I'll say, I think this is the time, it sounds crazy, with college hoops. You can start seeing very clear deficiencies, and sometimes we might just have to accept that a team just isn't very good, okay? And so I bring it up because North Carolina, I don't think they're terrible, but we talk, nobody covers the college hoops portal like Torres, okay? And I only bring it up because the fact that North Carolina in the offseason, we talked about, they went after a million big guys in the portal and missed on all of them. Missed on Cliff Omoyori, who they'll face for Alabama. Missed on Jonas Adu from Tennessee. Missed on, I can't even remember all the names now. I know I've said it a few times. There was a marquee player who they thought was going to enter the portal, didn't, and they never were able to overcome it. And so I bring it up with North Carolina. The issue is just size down low. I just don't know that they are going to have enough big bodies for the games that matter. Have a kid named Jalen Washington who's playing okay. Jalen Withers is playing okay, but they got out-rebounded by like 9 in the loss in Maui to Michigan State. In the loss against Auburn, listen, I'm not going to blame anybody for losing to Auburn because we're going to talk about Auburn in a minute. They're the best team that I've seen in college basketball so far this year, but they got out-rebounded by 8 against Auburn. So with North Carolina, this is going to be an issue all year. If you're looking for a positive, their 2 All-American freshmen actually played very well a few days ago in the last play in the last game in Maui. 18 for Drake Powell, 14 for Ian Jackson off the bench in the loss to Michigan State. If you're asking me for a pick, I don't have a great feel. I would lean North Carolina only because of 2 things. One, just the travel for Alabama. Again, they probably finished that game in Vegas at probably midnight Eastern, 12:30 Eastern time. Had to fly back probably that night, probably landed Sunday somewhere in the 5 a.m., 6 a.m. range. Now you got to get back on a plane 36 hours later to go to Carolina. I think this one is going to be ugly, low scoring. I would take Carolina in this game.